Hi, I'm Mort Cooper, your host on Change Your Voice, Change Your Life. In the studio with me is a young man. He's very erudite, and he's very civil, and he has trouble understanding society and why doctors are Botoxing people with a strangled voice. He's well-intentioned, he's compassionate, and he's humane. And sometimes I feel sorry for him. He's in a world that doesn't pay attention to what can be done, such as cures of hopeless voice problems. We have a young lady here with us. Your name is?
Claudia Sismondi.
Good. The subtitle of the program is called The Lady Killers. Do you know why I subtitled the program The Lady Killers? There was a British film called The Lady Killers. How this lady ruins a whole sophisticated gang of bank robbers and blows them out. It's funny. You talk a certain way. It's called a strangled voice. Can you count 1 to 5?
Yeah, sometimes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, now you're handling the voice and you feel comfortable, but you're doing it because you have a certain modus operandi. How do you do that?
You mean when I'm under pressure, I can get my voice back?
Yes.
In normal situations where I'm more comfortable, like with my family, I can't speak.
Yeah, that's true. That's a truism. People that you know, you basically may not be able to talk with. Is that true?
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk with strangers more than you can with a family?
Sometimes I can, and I'm doing it right now because I'm under lights and cameras, so this is an example.
What happens when you're on the phone?
Usually I can't speak.
If you put your hand to your ear and you mimicked talking on the phone, what would happen?
Right now I can't predict it.
Right. They say you have spasmodic dysphonia.
Mm-hmm.
You do have it.
Yeah, I do.
Who is they? Who's diagnosed her?
Dr. Curtis is always interested in they because
Well, you
he's
keep
learned
saying
to
these
question
generalities.
they.
What's the name of your doctor?
I've had a number of diagnoses from speech therapists, from a neurologist, and ENT.
So when did you first hear this title, spasmodic dysphonia, applied to you?
Applied to me, I think I ran across it on the internet, actually.
So your doctor never told you you had spasmodic dysphonia?
They have told me, but in the beginning we really weren't
Okay.
sure.
If you will,
Yeah, just look
because
at
you may
Mort.
be talking off
Okay.
mic, so if you look at me.
Okay.
Who is the doctor that gave you the 4 Botox shots or 3 Botox shots?
I received those from Dr. Corey.
Mark Corey, U.S., UC San Francisco. Okay, that's where Izdebski is. He's in with them.
Well, that's where Dr. Dito used to practice.
He is there.
Dr. Dito?
Yes. Corey replaced Dito in that.
Well, he's a very fine surgeon.
They're all fine surgeons.
This is a very respected individual.
They're all
so
fine. They're all respected.
He must have told you that you have a neurological condition. Did they ever say that to you?
Well, you can look at the records. When I saw him for my first exam, he was able to get me to go into the strangled voice. I did a battery of tests, and he agreed that I did have a spasmodic dysphonia.
Yeah, it's on the record. I have the record.
So there's nothing to dispute the diagnosis then, that she had spasmodic dysphonia.
No, Izdebski has sent me the printout.
And Curry is a very respected physician.
They're all respected.
University of California, San Francisco is a top-of-the-line medical
No, they're all
institution.
top of the line. They're all
So
creme de
why
la
is
creme.
it that your top-of-the-line diagnoses, and I've talked to one of the leading physicians at the University of Michigan named Dr. Norman Hokegian, and many of these physicians, when I bring to the attention that Dr. Cooper has had his cases diagnosed at major medical centers, they
including
say,
his.
well, this
Kim
is with one of
Engstrom.
this is with Kim Engstrom.
Yeah.
I was referring to her,
Yeah.
and I said to him, "Well, have you changed your diagnosis about Kim Ingstrom since Dr. Cooper has cured her of spasmodic dysphonia. I said, have you changed your diagnosis? He said, no. But there are many instances where these medical colleagues who know who've respond to patients that you've cured of spasmodic dysphonia that say that the patients never had spasmodic dysphonia.
That's fine. You can say that the world is in peace, regardless of wars all over the world. Everybody's entitled to their position. Hokegan diagnosed Kim Ingstrom with abductor and adductor. He gave her 2 Botox shots, and she had bowed vocal cords. The Botox shots were ineffective. The issue that comes down to is
You're not giving the whole story. She reported back to Dr. Hokegan with a completely clear and normal voice. And Dr. Hokegan asked her if she wanted another Botox shot.
No, he didn't ask her. He wanted to give her a Botox
for an insurance policy.
No, he wanted to deal with the neurological attributes.
But this was the point, that she still believed that she had a neurological condition.
Well, they believe that the condition is neurological. If you change your voice, if you can do that, as you're doing, you basically, fundamentally, overwhelmingly disprove the neurological theory. Because you cannot change cerebral palsy, you cannot change amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, that's Lou Gehrig's disease. You cannot change Alzheimer's. You cannot change multiple sclerosis. Those are neurological.
They've referred to this condition as a dystonia.
They can refer to it whatever they want.
Dystonia is a stubborn neurological condition.
It's incurable.
Are you a neurologist?
We've gone through this one.
No, I know, but I mean, are you able to treat neurological conditions?
It is not a dystonia. It's not a neurological
But the
problem.
medics say that it is. Her doctor who treated her with Botox believed that she had a neurological condition.
Dr. Curtis. John.
Right?
John. I love you. Where do you feel it? Where's your laugh?
Right there.
By the way, her voice, your voice has been clear as a bell on this show so far. It has not been strangled on this program as of yet. Now, most people listening to her right now on this show are going to say that she doesn't really have spasmodic dysphonia, even though she's diagnosed by Dr. Curry and she was treated with Botox. Let's hope that we can get her to strangle a little bit as time goes on here.
Thanks.
Well, John is very civil.
We want to prove to people at least this is a real story. No, your voice has been entirely clear.
Well, I haven't talked at all today, really. I've just sat and breathed and hummed.
You're breathing and humming. When you first came in, could you do that? Can you breathe? What are you doing with your breathing?
I don't want to think about it.
Okay, but I changed the breathing.
Yeah.
What about your hum? Did I have you hum? Do you feel the hum up in the face? Do you feel a buzz, a resonance? But when you're on the phone, what happens?
I'm tight.
You drop down.
Yeah.
All spasmodic dysphonia is in the lower throat. I can help John to get that condition if you listen to me. He's a very civil person. John, I just want you to talk without air and keep doing that. Hold your breath. And then your wife won't have any problems with you because you won't be heard.
Did you realize that I had a great conversation with the past president of the National Spasmodic Dysphonia Association. This is the group, by the way, that you're supposed to go to for answers about spasmodic dysphonia. They're a nonprofit organization, and that is based out of Chicago, I believe. And the woman that I was talking to on the phone, her name was Dot Sowerby, and she sounded like this. I said, Dot, do you know that there's treatments for spasmodic dysphonia? There's a gentleman in Brentwood named Dr. Mort Cooper. He's willing to give you free treatment. And that was and she said, told me, instructed me, I could barely hear or understand anything she was saying, to call Dr. McAllister, who was then the executive director of the National Spasmodic Dysphonia Association. So I called Dr. McAllister up and I asked him if his organization recommended treatments, because I understand that Dot Sowerby, and this is just a question, but I had heard, no confirmation, that she had received numerous Botox shots for her own spasmodic dysphonia. And this is the condition her voice was left into. It was unintelligible. So Dr. McAllister told me, we don't recommend any treatment for anybody. We're not physicians. Then the day after, I read an article in the USA Today. I'm talking about the exact day after I had talked with him, and he said that they, at the National Spasmodic Dysphonia Association, do not advocate any form of treatment for spasmodic dysphonia. They are not physicians. He was quoted as saying that Botox, and this is in USA Today, is a godsend And is the cat's meow with respect to treatment for spasmodic dysphonia?
The man's entitled to his view. Why are you so critical of people? They are funded by Allergan, the maker of Botox. That's the NSDA. And you don't have any sympathy or empathy about people who are trying to fulfill their position and help represent either the Allergan company or the medical position and the academic position, all of them. Guarantee there are no cures of the condition that you have. People are hearing you now and they're wondering why they don't hear the strangled voice. Can you imitate the voice you came in with?
Yeah, kind of like that.
Now give me the real voice.
I can't. I can't control my voice, and this is happening to me right now. And this
Why
is
is
natural.
Why can you control your voice now? How are you doing it?
I must be breathing correctly and speaking in my mask
Yes.
area.
You are. Do you consider this what is called a performance voice?
Yeah, it's my.
You're
It
not alone.
surprises me. It's here, and I'm thankful for it.
Yes. I have recordings of you when you first came in.
Do you have the recording master with you?
No, I did it last week. And another show. How bad were you then?
I could barely talk. Last night I could barely talk. I went out to dinner with the other client patient, and I couldn't talk.
So it comes and goes.
Mm-hmm.
But you use a presentation called the performance voice, which I've seen before. Do you like your performance voice?
Yes, I do. I love my voice.
Can you put yourself in that mode?
No, not on demand, no.
But you're doing it under floodlights.
Mm-hmm.
So people hearing you cannot believe that you have a very serious problem.
And that happened to me when I went to an ENT in my local community. What's your problem? Oh, I can't talk. I have a strangled voice. And he wouldn't even give me the Botox because he'd never seen this happen, and it confused him.
Did Dr. Curry hear your spasmodic dysphonia?
Yes, yes. And I got shots from him.
3. What was the outcome of 3?
Well, the first one I believe worked. I was supposed to keep a journal, and he would have record of that. But then again, I was doubting myself. Was it this theatrical voice or the shots? I wasn't really sure. But then the last shots that I had didn't take at all.
So that's when you gave it up?
Yes.
Okay. The interval of Botox shots, what was it?
Pardon me?
What was the end of time element? You had 1 Botox shot, 2 Botox shots, 3 Botox.
They were about 4 months apart.
Did you have a long period of time after you had the Botox shot before you got a normal voice, a near normal voice? Or was
It wasn't too long. I had a complete loss of voice where I had to whisper, and I had to be real careful when I drank fluids because I would choke. In fact, I did choke on some medication because I wasn't paying attention out of habit.
That, by the way, is a direct consequence of the paralysis that's due to the Botox shot. Now, if you listen to the video that the National Spasmodic Dysphonia Association puts out, it's very persuasive because they say that with the fiber optic technology, they can pinpoint the exact location, and there is a scientific method of determining the dosage of these shots, and there's no leakage in surrounding tissues. So the fact that you're having trouble swallowing shows that it's affected her esophageal muscles, which means there's infiltration of Botox into surrounding tissue. So the idea that it's so localized that this is a purified protein, doesn't harm the person at all, is a very interesting idea.
They have a lot of interesting ideas. The problem is nobody knows the long-term downside effects on the body with Botox for the vocal cords. Nobody. And years ago there was prefrontal lobotomies. It was greatly encouraged by the medical community. It ended up 35 years after it was honored